There will be no spoilers in this video like I've been doing for a while now, out of respect for the players who are still stuck in the queue or unable to play. But before people assume, I'm gonna try and get ahead of that now. I am level 87 on my Sage and 86 on my Scholar, and about the same on my MSQ. Actually, my MSQ is solidly on 87. My boyfriend, who I ideally want to play this expansion with, as this is his first expansion in 14, has however had maybe 2 hours in total playtime since early access begun, and he has been trying ever since it did come out. Just to be direct, because of the weekend rush as well as work commitments, unfortunately, in spite of trying his best, 2 hours, and unfortunately that is not an exaggeration. So don't think that I've come to act all preachy to you as a content creator, far from it. Call it pride or paranoia, and the fact is a name that is out there that some people do recognize, that it makes me even more scared to consider any circumvention options, since my name can quite easily be recognized and snuffed out even easier than that. Rest assured, this is actually something that I've been personally experiencing in spades. To that end, I'm gonna be honest, this is actually the most polarizing game launch I've ever been a part of. That is no exaggeration. Yes, that is me thinking of things like Anthem, of Mass Effect 3. All of those were like nothing in comparison to this, at least from me, from my personal viewpoint. I was never as frustrated with those as I am currently. The queue speaks for itself. It's terrible, and no justification truly makes it better, as much as it's not coming from a place of malice. I'm quite sure, I'm confident it doesn't come from a place of malice from the devs. But a queue is one thing. A queue that boots people out of it, making it so that you need to gently and attentively nurse to it like a babe, is quite another thing. Now here is the polarizing part, because if I only had that problem, I would simply not play. No, making YouTube videos on something is not enough justification if I'm not enjoying it. I would be gone. Now, on the other hand, which makes it polarizing, the game itself is better than I could have ever imagined going into Endwalker. I have the addition of a job that I would absolutely call my dream job. I have unapologetically fangirled about it for months now, and now I've had my time to play it. It is truly amazing. It obviously has weaknesses, as I plan to talk about at length. In fact, I might do a preliminary video just on that. But regardless, I've never felt so connected to a job. To me, in my playstyle, it is just about perfect. Let alone the story, which I am not saying any spoilers about, but what I can say is it has made me quite emotional many times going through the story, and I'm very far from done, as 87 would indicate. I adore the game more than I can express. Combine the two, and we end with this being the most polarizing game launch I've personally ever experienced. Oh yeah, also add people wanting my thoughts on healers and tanks and ranged DPS, especially those ones. But I have surprisingly not heard anything about those summoner. No one has wanted my summoner thoughts. But healers, tanks, ranged DPS, I have literally gone about, and this, like, hundreds of messages, hundreds of DMs about like, would you make this video? Would you make that video? And I'm like, I'm level 87. I could make it, but I would need to very much disclaimer that it was preliminary. In fact, could you really say that it could be an ultimate guide before Savage is released? I might need to update it either way. But I digress, a thought for another time for myself. But back to the polarizing part, is I've never so badly wanted to battle queues before, and every other time this has happened in another game, I simply dropped the game, to be quite blunt, for many months. Or in Mass Effect 3's case, literally years. Although that wasn't a queue thing, but I mean, it had... If you know, you know. I'm not gonna get into it in this video. Worse than that, for many of these games, I simply never returned because I lacked interest. However, for 14, at this point I'm so engrossed that it actually kind of hurts. So now, why this video? I maybe should have put this at the start of the video. Point is, a lot of people have been asking me for my thoughts. A lot of people. The amount of Discord messages that I have is like a tidal wave, and I am unfortunately so far behind on replying to them that unfortunately I feel very guilty, honestly. I do make a strong effort to try and respond as much as I can, but I am literally buried. Unfortunately, that is quite a humbling and beautiful problem. I realize I am not dumb or ignorant. I am very humbled that so many people would care to ask me my opinion, honestly. I don't think I will ever get used to this. But people want my thoughts on the queue, getting into the game, and such. It's a topic that, if I'm super honest, I don't want to cover. I didn't want to cover. I can provide you no answers, I can provide you no solutions, and speculating on why this has happened reminds me of the quote, "It is better to be silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt," by Abraham Lincoln. So I will not be postulating on the myriad network or hardware or global shortage problems or the economics of major businesses or of their acquisition of servers. Instead, my goals here of this this video is to express my experience of it myself, and ultimately I guess let people know that they're not alone in their concerns over the queue. As you would probably much imagine, I myself am stuck in a many thousand person queue as I'm doing this video, and this is absolutely what I'd call off-peak hours early in the day. I suspect that this video will be finished uploading and processing and fully released to the public before I get in. That is, unless of course I fall prey to that joyful 2002 error. It's almost the Y2K bug, almost. Almost wish that that name kind of caught on. I just remember as a young child that everyone was talking about that. Goodness, for something to remind me of my childhood like that is funny. So now my thoughts and feelings about this, because people did unironically ask. Point is, I am very saddened. There was spats of rage in there, like earlier yesterday around 3 o'clock PM my time, I got a like 900,002 error or something like that, and I was booed from the game on Gilgamesh. My heart sank, and I was at a part of the story that gripped my heart, and then I tried my best to log in quickly, and I mean, obviously I know how to do that. I've had plenty of practice, but I logged in quickly to be at 4,400 in the queue about. This number didn't move until I hit about I don't know how many minutes later, was it 20 minutes later? The number didn't move for like 20 minutes or so, and then I hit a 2002 error, and then the client closed, and when I rushed to restart it, I tried many times, just as I have become adept at the past few days, I was unable to even join the queue. How does the process go? You have the client open, you press the start button, you wait like 30 seconds, and then you error out. Rinse and repeat, and I did go to bed shortly after that. My concerns only grow further considering that I'm returning to my software dev job Monday, like in a few days from now. And to be absolutely blunt with you all, I failed my checklist of tasks to do. I had many things to complete and many people waiting on them, as I unfortunately am reminded very often on Discord, or sometimes Twitter. However, perhaps selfishly, I decided that I want to do the MSQ and enjoy it and talk to the NPCs to turn over like stones related to the MSQ. Side quests, not such a big deal, honestly, those can wait for later. I honestly rarely do them, maybe to my own fault. But for the MSQ, especially the MSQ, I want to be engrossed in the world so dearly, as I still do view myself as a player, not as a content creator. I do not consider this channel a money-making source by any means, in spite of people saying apparently I'm motivated by money. Oh yes, that is why I've been putting spoilers in the thumbnails and titles just so that I can get rage clicks. Absolutely. On that note, I cannot relate to those who decide to thrust upon unwilling people spoiler images of Endwalker content in thumbnails and game journal article titles, and those starting with images of final important things to the story simply for clicks. Some clicks rage, which I will never fall for. Trust me, you did not get my view. But some clicks are going to be curiosity. Ad revenue to them, the same. I can't relate to these people. I find it repulsive to both the developers and the players alike. It's disgusting. The practice of it I honestly wish was looked at with more disgust than it currently is. This is neither here nor there, but I find it disgusting that these people would so... I'm not gonna linger, but I will end it with this actually. People didn't ask to be in the queue. People didn't ask to be barely able to pass the first few cutscenes or quests in what is undeniably the longest expansion MSQ this game has ever had. And that's not a spoiler to say, and so I'll say it. It is absolutely by no means an exaggeration to say this is the longest MSQ by far. However, its length does not come at a compromise to quality. It is very high quality. It is a masterpiece from everything that I have experienced myself so far. So to see that is just so gross. But I have veered off of the point. My progress has been undeniably stifled. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it's been ruined. To be frank, I'm not very far, hence why I'm not uploading, because I don't want to overwhelm people's feeds or clutter my channel with half-baked viewpoints. But the game, as I've played it, is more than just marvelous. It's incredible. It's better than I could have imagined. Scholar feels great. In fact, it feels intensely better, to the point where I've been genuinely shocked having even gone in there knowing what changes happened and played it for years. It feels incredible now. So snappy. Sage is my dream job, dream class in any MMORPG to be introduced for me, whether that's in gameplay or lore. White Mage even feels responsive and snappier than ever. Bard is amazing. The tanks feel amazing. I'm playing these things and I'm like, this is amazing. But I'm at the crossroads about how can I make informative videos based off of half-baked ideas. Could I use the queue to make videos? Absolutely. But How am I meant to push out an ultimate guide on Sage at level 88 just about, and then Scholar at 86 or about 87? That's nonsense. To that end, throwing 7 days extra game time is a kind gesture. I would not want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but it tastes like ash when one considers that people like my boyfriend have spent upwards of... Oh my god, how long has he spent in queue? I'm trying to not exaggerate heavily, but I don't think that saying 20 or maybe even 30 would be an over-exaggeration. He absolutely works full-time and then some. But of course, over the course of early access, he's gone maybe 2-ish hours, like I said earlier. And without issuing spoilers, he's... Before I started recording this video, he actually was many hours away from even the first dungeon. For me though, the 7 extra days means unfortunately even less. I've consumed all of my PTO and taken unpaid time off in order to catch up and do the MSQ and get on top of content. Yes, honestly, unpaid time off, because at this point However, at level 87, just about 88 on Thursday, and currently in yet another queue of about 3,000 people when I began writing, and it has not gone down much at all actually. I think people are simply not logging off the game. But I have some hard decisions to make. I won't bog down this video with that, but 7 days does me unfortunately no favors. Given my current circumstance, part of me wonders if my refusal to use a keyboard macro or whatever mischievous nonsense like many others have are leading me honestly to a fall. Pride does come before a fall and all that. And I am afraid as a result I am currently genuinely considering what I and many others would consider a little bit of drastic options. But I do refuse to damage my MSQ experience. However, software developer jobs are plenty, and with my skill level, far be it a fear of mine to find another. But here I'm doing exactly what I said I want. I won't belabor the point. My frustration is admittedly leaking out, which I said that I'd try and restrain, and so I'm gonna do that here. But either way, shaking off the cobwebs and concluding this video that has gone on way longer than I had wanted it to originally. In fact, I didn't want to do it from the start because I don't feel that I have much input or solutions to share. I'm unfortunately deeply frustrated with the current situation. I find it difficult as both a player and as someone that quite literally hundreds of people have directly said that they are awaiting my input on Sage and Scholar, as well as a handful on ranged DPS and actually a lot on tank, which I suppose really shocked me. But mind you, I played tank a lot last expansion, so should it shock me? Probably not. It's looking like way more tank in this expansion again too. I confess, I feel no minor amount of pressure and upset from this. I feel triply worse now actually that I say that I refuse to burn down and quickly rush through my experience with the MSQ that has been nothing short of stunning. Is that selfish? I don't know, but people did ask me for my thoughts on this, and so my thoughts are honestly that I am conflicted on that too. Above and beyond the somewhat comical title of content creator, I honestly just view myself as a player and someone that makes videos for fun. I actually, if anything, feel extreme discomfort being called a content creator, a YouTuber, or an influencer, all of which are titles that other people have called me. To be honest, that's also the reason why I call myself That Sage Guy as my Discord role and title. I find it self-indulgent, narcissistic even, and pretentious to imagine myself calling myself much more than that. Find myself caught up in the midst of this too. Whether that makes me hashtag relatable or not, I suppose is up for everyone else to decide. But this is unfortunately where I'm at with the queue.